one question. You don't all have to answer it, but I hope some of you will. Maybe I'll turn to David first, since you haven't talked in a while. Could you assess whether TPP, in your opinion, would TPP serve as, the digital trade provisions, would they serve as an appropriate baseline for an agreement like TTIP or TISA? You're thinking of the WTO, or what else can be added to those conversations that would be useful?
Sure. I think each of those agreements have different dynamics and different scopes. Maybe I'll talk for a second about the WTO, where I think there's one of the ironies of this conversation and these sets of issues is, I think, what Ambassador Holliman touched on before, which is this should be of tremendous interest to developing countries, and there's a bit of a disconnect between sort of the trade politics conversation and then the conversation with entrepreneurs and small businesses around the world, which you know very well. You've spent time with many of those communities in Europe and Asia, and there's just so much excitement throughout Africa and Asia and India about the potential for digital trade. There is just a lot of vibrancy in those economies. But you look at what their trade negotiators are saying in Geneva, and it's like two different worlds. There's in part a problem of messenger, that when a bunch of us show up in Geneva, they say, here they go again, right? And to sort of Emery's point before. But I think there's a real opportunity to kind of put this on the WTO agenda, really in a development kind of context as well, and a sort of, and I hate to use the phrase level the playing field, because people usually mean the exact opposite when they use that term, but there really is a significant element to the digital economy agenda. So what will morph into the WTO will look different than the TPP, but I think there is this real opportunity to bring some of these core concepts and extend them more broadly.
Thank you. Jackie or David, Ralph, did you want to talk about what could be added either the WTO or TTIP or TISA?
Well, I would just echo the point about the benefits to development that this holds, including, of course, the movement of the physical goods. That's something that we're very interested in. But you mentioned the stories of the platform where the craftspeople are selling around the world. We have similar stories that we see around the world. And as Ambassador Holliman said, and I'm going to use that, I mean, the internet is the great equalizer. It gives any small business in any country, almost regardless of the state of their development, an opportunity to do something on a global scale. You look at the studies that eBay has put out recently, showing that 97% and above of small businesses that put their goods on an eBay platform are exporting. And they're exporting to 18 countries and up. And you compare that to a traditional brick and mortar company who's 4%, 15%, who knows? Not many are exporting. So, I mean, that tells you the power of the internet to create opportunities for these kinds of small entrepreneurs to access global markets, and it ought to be of global interest especially to the developing world, because they stand to benefit, I think, the most.
I was going to say, maybe it'd be better just to go to questions from the audience.
Sure.